Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin and see where we're at here. We got local liquidation at, upwards about 87, 88,000. That's all been fully swept. So we're going to take a look at that, see if there's any new liquidation levels. From before though, folks, it's pretty straightforward. 90,000 or higher, we got a tremendous amount there. So we could very well have a breakout on our hands, but I do want to urge some caution taking longs here at this point, just based on the simple fact that we do have some pretty solid resistance here. We can see this 88,500 level is that tentative resistance here for us based on local highs being retested a few times. So there is that. But let's take a look at the back end liquidation data, kind of go from there. If you could please always hit that like button when you watch my videos, folks. It is ridiculous how low the amount of likes I get for my videos when people seem to find a really good benefit from it. So I appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much. Let's take a quick look here. So when we look at Bitcoin, we can see 89,000 is just that little upper shelf here of these late shorts here entering the market. But everybody from the weekend and or previous got completely wiped out here. So any shorts in the last 7 days fully swept here. But if we take a look at the larger time frame, this is where it gets kind of crazy. 90 to 92,000. Each one of these red bars is like $5 to $6 billion. So there's a lot of liquidation above, basically implying the price could and should continue higher, right? Not to say it couldn't pull back here soon, which I do think we will see that just based on there being a fair value gap, traditional markets being very terrible today. Bitcoin's doing really well for some odd reason. And there's a few other things too I'll kind of highlight on the charts as well. But generally speaking, further upside makes sense, but I would also be careful taking a late long. I know it seems kind of weird, but this just feels kind of like a bit of a fake out. But we'll talk more about that here in a minute. 12 billion in liquidation delta. We can see here that we are pretty high on the overall sense of liquidation. Usually when you see the 10 to 15 billion, the price starts to plateau and or turn itself around. So not proposing we're going to just see the price pull back right away, but I can say that at this point, it would make sense for us to cool off for a little bit, okay? Having said that though, when we take a look at open interest, we can see there's a decent chunk below us here at about 88,200. 87,200. Basically implying a lot of folks bought this recent channel here and the price is going up because of that. So that really kind of reinforces support of that 87,000 range. So just be mindful. If the price does pull back, it may not be a very significant pullback, okay? All right, cool. So let's take a look here at the back end data here, or sorry, the front end rather, and just kind of take a look at the weekly first here, work our way down. Because when we talk about the weekly time frame in the past, it's technically diverging, right? But it's not fully bearish because we haven't broken below the 50-day SMA. So overall, the weekly isn't in a terrible place. It's just kind of in a transition, trying to bottom out. We can see we're back up over 50 on the RSI, which is a good start. And then of course, stochastic swinging up and MACD is trying to converge. So this doesn't tell us a whole heck of a lot, but it does reinforce that we have resistance in the 90 to 91,000 range with that SMA, the 20-day SMA above the price action. So just know once we hit 90 to 91K, we should start seeing some slowing down if that even happens. Okay, so not trying to get too crazy here. Let's not say we're going to go to the moon here, so to speak. I know a lot of moon boys are probably proposing that today, but for the most part, this is a very good start. It just doesn't mean that we're completely out of the woods yet. Okay, so let's talk about that. 200-day SMA right here at 88,200. So we're tentatively rejecting off that level and just that being a local high. So just keep in mind, we're going to need consistent volume to be able to punch through that. So between now and whenever that happens, just know that this will work as a resistance to 88,500 level, as it has already. Okay. When we take a look at the RSIs, we can see we're over 50. It's good. We talked about this previously. It's a great place to be. So overall, I would say we're definitely on the right side of the tracks here for the daily transition. Okay, we've broken our descending trend line minus the 200-day SMA. The likelihood of further upside makes sense. Okay, we're also seeing the money flow index starting to increase, and we're over that moving average there. There's mostly everything here is positive on the daily time frame. There's only one little caveat there, the current resistance and that 200-day SMA. And we look at the 4-hour, we're above everything else here. There's not much else to see. This is going to show us that we're mostly bullish because we broke free from our range. And I've been talking about this bullish rectangle for quite a few days now. It inevitably broke on a Sunday night of all things. Take a look at this here, folks. We can see a nice profit on our Bitcoin, both of our Bitcoin longs, 57%, 32%. But what I'm getting at here is we saw 800 million pumped into Binance futures in less than 11 minutes on Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is just weird. Okay, so Asian markets opened off really strong. So that has since pushed this here. But when we look at the overall sentiment, we're going to see fair value gap as low as 85,200. The price ran really quick and really fast. So it does make sense for those profits to be secured at some point. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin CME futures. The previous gap was never essentially established because we closed at 88,000. Closed above 85,100 rather, because if we'd closed below that, we would have completely filled or had a new gap there. But the simple way to understand it here is there's no gaps on CME futures, which is a very positive sign. So overall, minus the fair value that we can see here, there's not a lot of reason or incentive for the price to pull back. So this is one of those weird situations where it feels weird to take a long right now, but it also feels strange to take a short, because if you take a short, it's inherently more risky because there's so much buying pressure. However, the price should pull back at least tentatively for a short while. So oftentimes when I see these kind of situations here, I usually kind of err on the side of caution and don't trade. But once more, I may consider a short if we go a little bit higher here, just based on that 88,500 level being a resistance. But once more, it's probably recommended to just kind of wait for things to stabilize. We're in a weird place right now too. Bitcoin dominance is just shooting straight up right now. So altcoins are not really doing as well as they should, considering how awesome Bitcoin's doing. So that's a weird thing too. Either way, the market feels off right now. So I'd recommend just kind of hanging out and waiting for a little bit before considering another trade. That's all we got there, folks. I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much again for your time. Look forward to seeing the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.